All right. Let's jump right in. This is going to be a very quick update because not much changed from last night. So on SPY, we had a nice flat day, only down 0.05%, and we did get the full bounce to where I was expecting, which is this resistance at 507. And it's just as simple as knowing the two scenarios and then following price. And I'll go over the bear scenario first. We're going to get rejected right around 507, and then we're going to come down here sharply towards 491 to 492. And I think this is likely the most popular. I think the majority of people think this is going to happen. So I would just caution you against assuming it's going to happen. But this is a very valid and likely scenario while we have this downtrend. But I think what's more likely is a little bit of a bear trap start coming down here and everybody's going to start getting very bearish. And then I think we're going to find support somewhere between 497 and 501 and then get the higher high breakout. So we will get a higher low, higher high. So those are really the only two scenarios that we have, because even in the bullish scenario, we still need a bit of a pullback for a higher low before we get the bull breakout. And then once we get that bull breakout, that'll be the confirmation above 507, and then we'll start running higher towards the resistance levels above. So just don't get too bearish as we pull back. You could definitely be bearish below 507, but you need to be managing a risk if you're a bear if the price action breaks above 507. If you're bullish, you need to remember you're going against the trend, so manage your risk right around 497 or the previous low at 495. And as I've said many times in a volatile market, it really doesn't matter if you're a bear or a bull. There is plenty of volatility for both bears and bulls alike to be making profits. So just whatever you do, manage your risk around these critical levels, and that way you don't lose too much if you're wrong. On the NASDAQ 100 triple Qs, we were up 0.34% today, and we are getting up into this resistance zone where all of these moving averages are bunched up between 429 and about 432. And as I said with SPY, the bear scenario is a simple rejection, and then we would go down towards that gap fill down there just above 407. And then in the more bullish scenario, we're going to get a pullback somewhere around this resistance, put in that higher low, and then continue to push higher towards 435 and beyond. So again, even in the bullish scenario, we could get this pullback to a higher low, but before we really start to get to moving here. So just be aware of both scenarios, and the critical level I would pay attention to in the triple Qs is going to be right there, right around 429. And if we break above 429, there's a good chance we push higher towards 432 to 435. On the Dow Jones, we were down 0.15% today, and we had the second day in a row testing that resistance between 385 and 386. So in the bull scenario, we'll need to break through 385 to 386, and then we push higher towards 391 and then 395, which is also a gap fill. And in the bearish scenario, we get rejected from this lower high. We come back down here to retest 377, and if we break 377, we go down to 370 fairly quickly. So again, these are very simple price action moves. You don't need to guess correctly which ones it's going to be. You simply just need to react. So watch these critical levels, and right now in the Dow, that is above or below 385. On the Russell 2000 IWM ETF, we were down 0.45% today, and the critical level here is the resistance at 199. If we break above that, the bulls likely push higher towards the gap fill at 204. And if we get rejected from 199, then we likely push down towards the 200 daily moving average right around 190, even though we will have strong support right around 193. So watch 199 very closely, because that is going to be the pivot of whether we get the lower high rejection or the higher high breakout. On the ARKK ETF, we were up 0.07% today, and we had that gap filled, so we could delete that. And we did find resistance right here at the negatively sloping 13 EMA right around 44.7. And if we push any higher, we're going to have resistance right around 45.7. In a bearish rejection, this is likely going to be somewhere around our lower high, and then we'll come down towards 41 and then 40. On the VIX, we were up 1.72% today, and the VIX is trying to crush down here towards 15. But in the bearish scenario, if this is the lower high rejection, we're going to expect to see the VIX spiking up to 18 to 20 yet again. If we're going to get the bullish scenario, we need the VIX crushing back down below 15 and then starting to trend lower towards 12.8. On Bitcoin, we're currently trading just above 64,000, and we did break that support at 65,000, so there's still the possibility this could be another lower high rejection. Even though we already had a double triple top, we could still get a lower high here, break down through that support at 61,000, and then go hit the price target at 52,000. The easiest way to play Bitcoin is wait until we break support at 61,000 and then get very bearish, because it's going to happen very quickly to the downside. But as long as we are above 61,000, it's still possible the bulls could try to make a higher low here and then continue to try to push out and break that resistance at 68,000. On Nvidia stock, we were down 3.33% today, and we did find resistance just below that neckline, which is right there at 857. And remember, this is still a double top rejection while we are below 857, which means you should be cautious here if you're a bull, especially today, because we broke down below 820. Below 820, we need to hold support right around 780, and if we can't hold 780, we go to 740, and if we can't hold 740, we go to 689. The next bull breakout will be the break back above 857, and then we can start running higher towards the brand new all-time high. On Tesla stock, we're up 12.06% today, and I told you that typically when Tesla sees these capitulations, we get that V-shaped recovery, and I said that before earnings, before I even knew if earnings was going to be good or bad. This is just very typical of Tesla, and I told you we would at least go fill the gap at 161 and blast right through these gaps, and then if that happened, we could push as high as 167 to 173. So that prediction played out very quickly because after earnings, we hit most of those price targets. We just didn't break through 167 and hit 173. So there you go. There's your V-shaped recovery. It's very typical. So if you ever see capitulation in Tesla, don't be afraid to take advantage of this trade because it works nearly every time, and we've knocked these out of the park repeatedly. At this point, since we did not close above 167, it is possible we backfill some of this gap, which means we could come back down towards 153 if we don't hold above 160. On Apple stock, we're up 1.27% today, and this is just another one of those very simple trades because you have a blue chip name sitting down here right near a very low risk entry, and even though it is a falling knife, it's a falling knife in a blue chip company, and we did find that support at 165, and now we officially have the pivot off of 165, and we're right up here around the resistance at 169, and above 169, we'll be looking for 172 and then 174. If we cannot break above 172, this could still be a lower high and we could still go lower. But as long as we're above 165 or 167, I do think it's prudent to stay bullish in Apple stock. So jumping back over the S&P 500, we've had a lot of the move play out that we were expecting, but from here is going to be a difference of whether or not the bears can take over of this market and push us lower, or if the bulls were just resting and we're getting another higher low before we break out again. So look for that pullback. That pullback is going to tell us everything we need to know, and I am still in very heavy cash during earnings season, and I'm taking advantage of a lot of day trades and intraday volatility, and I am starting to accumulate certain swing trades in some of the stocks and the setups that I like. So if you want access to all of those ideas, including the day trades and swing trades, then come join the Stocks Channel Discord server where you'll get access to all of my intraday updates and technical analysis. So if you want that information, join the Stocks Channel Discord server, which you can find out how to join by clicking on the link in the description of this video. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.